Welcome to another episode of Stocklist. Right now, the markets are red. Everything peak. Bitcoin dipping. Market dipping. Wall Street headache. It's peak everywhere. So it's sticky everywhere, and we think we know why. It's probably because of a company called Evergrande, and we're going to take you through them. So, Mike, what is Evergrande?
So Evergrande is the second largest property developer in China by sales. They've invested not only in properties but football clubs, theme parks, and other projects too in over 280 cities.
Point
globally.
is, it's a big company. Company.
So at the moment, Evergrande currently have a debt of 300 billion, which is a massive problem. Anyone who has 300 billion problems, has a massive headache on
It's not million, 300 billion. Massive numbers, right?
That's it.
We're going to explain how they got there. So, they oversold bonds. If you don't know what bonds are, we're going to write it here, or Michael will explain later, to investors. And on those bonds, interest is due. The coupon payments are due. And they were due for January 2021. Now, the first red flag was the fact that they couldn't pay those bonds interest. So they reached out to the investors, and the investors gave them a blight. The investors allowed them and waived the interest payment, which was about 13 billion.
Yeah.
It's a big number to just waive. Right. So that was all the way in what? January. 9 months later, in September, same problem. Yeah. They've got some interest that they're due to pay this Thursday. What's the numbers? 85 million on the US bonds and 36 million on the Chinese bonds.
Yeah.
Now, they're saying they potentially can't pay. And if they don't pay and they default, then that affects everybody.
Do you know what this problem is like? It's like someone told you you're pregnant. The baby's on his way. The baby's now about to arrive 9 months later. You still got that problem on your hands. You don't know what to do.
9 months later, they still can't pay their debt. It's shocking.
You haven't bought a bed for your baby. You haven't bought
nothing. No preparation.
So
it makes you think, what were they doing
since
then? It's like throughout the whole 9 months, what were they doing?
Yeah.
Were they not preparing for these payments, or were they just spending the money? At the end of the day, the guy owns a football club. Was he buying football? Was he buying football players? I don't know what they were doing. But the point is, interest is due. They can't pay. So now they're looking at the Chinese government to bail them out. Chinese government is also saying, look, if we bail you out now, what's to stop you from doing the same rubbish?
Exactly.
It's down the line.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So Chinese government not trying to hear it.
Exactly. Another point as well, I'm sure you're going to touch on, is the fact that this company are in so much trouble that they decided to ask their employees to help them.
That's even something we should have mentioned, yeah.
They're asking employees, I'm going to say it again, they're asking employees to loan them money so that they can...
Explain the situation.
So they said, this is what they said. They said, you know what? You loan us money, in return, we're going to give you properties at a discounted rate. Cool. The problem is, there was T's and C's to this. It wasn't an option, it was by force. If you don't do this, you're not getting your bonus.
Of course, that's going to cause an uproar. And the thing is, if they don't pay these people their bonuses and their money, what money did they expect these people to come and buy these properties with?
Thank you very much.
So it's like a vicious circle. It's actually nuts.
Crazy.
It's nuts. So right now, they're in a very sticky situation. They can't pay their creditors. They can't sell their properties because a lot of the properties haven't been built yet. They were sold off plan. So it's like it's just an imagination of mess. It's just
never
mess.
ending problem.
It's just a sticky mess.
Yeah.
So right now, what does it mean for us if they don't get bailed out by the Chinese government?
Boy, markets are affected. A lot of people so far have seen that now that Evergrande's big mess up. They're starting
Big
to
mess
sell,
up.
Big mess up. Big. They're starting to sell their stocks. And that has a knock-on effect on the market. Already, we know historically September is the worst month for
The
Wall
stock
Street,
market,
the stock market. People selling their stocks because of this is going to have a knock-on effect because new money is not coming into the market because people are too scared to invest.
Yeah. For me, like...
And old money is going away.
Old money is literally about to vanish because if Evergrande goes down, the whole value of the company basically vanishes into thin air.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because the company is basically done. They won't get any more credit from anywhere. Now, a lot of the investment that has gone into Evergrande has come from the US market. And if Evergrande goes down, what happens to the US market? It's investment. The money vanishes. So that's money leaving the US stock market, like just vanishing.
Yeah.
As you said, old money's gone. That's literally old money just going.
New money's not
New money's not gonna come in because the old money,
scared,
the
innit?
market's gonna go red.
Yeah,
Do you understand? So right now, if the Chinese government does not bail out Evergrande, or if their investors don't waive the interest as they did in January, then Evergrande's gonna go down, and that's gonna have a knock-on effect to the US market. Because, bro, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how much we've invested, or the US market has invested in Evergrande, but to have interest payments of 83 million in 1 quarter, that means you've invested a lot of money, bro. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So right now, it's actually going to be sticky if nobody bails out Evergrande.
That's true.
It's going to be sticky for everyone.
Yep. Also, as well, part of the problem is the fact that right now we're currently, in China, there's currently a public holiday.
Right.
And because of the public holiday, Evergrande haven't got the time at the moment to try and sort out the issue. They have to wait till...
Yeah, it's literally a bank holiday.
Yeah, it's a bank holiday up until Wednesday. And then they've got Wednesday's their grace periods to pay some of their debt by Thursday.
It's not going to happen. There's just not enough time.
There's not enough time. Like, even though we already alluded to the fact that they had 9 months already, they still need more time.
Yeah.
Clearly, like,
I mean, one thing I will say that might work out in their favor is your credit isn't officially, like, if you default on a payment, it's not officially registered as a default until 30 days later. So technically, they have 30 days after Thursday to pay back the money. So, I mean, they could probably pull something off within 30 days.
The problem is, this is not just a domestic mess up. This is a global mess up. This has a knock-on effect on a lot of companies because doing our research, we saw that, for example, HSBC,
and BlackRock, two titans.
They bought some bonds in Evergrande.
Evergrande, yep.
And that's a problem because when are they going to get their money?
They probably won't. If Evergrande goes down, no one bails them out. That money is gone. That bond is going to be worthless. Understand? The bond, what they call tickets or something.
Yeah.
They're going to be worthless. So, I don't know. It's sticky. I think we're going to have some real issues, man. Some real issues. Chinese government, we're begging you, please save the world. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how else to put it. Literally save the world.
You know what? Like you were saying off camera that the Chinese government are trying to make an example of Evergrande.
Yeah.
They're trying to say we're always there for a lot of companies. Like, don't use us as the easy route. Like, just because we're always there for companies doesn't mean that you should get yourself into
big mess up.
Yeah.
Basically, it's that simple. Yeah. So what do you think then? She's like, just judging on the way things are going, do you think the Chinese government is going to save them? It's not going to save them, or do you think investors are going to waive off the interest payment?
Okay, so this is what I think is going to happen. I think that Evergrande is going to get an extension on the time to pay off their debt to the bank and obviously to governments as well. But I also believe that Evergrande will only have to pay, I don't want to say half, but they won't have to pay everything.
The full thing, okay.
I feel like they're going to get a bailout from somewhere. I don't know where the bailout is going to come out, but not a full bailout. It's just going to be half of, or a bit of whatever they owe at the moment. And then we're going to see that I just think this whole thing will... There's going to be a new problem that's going to come, bro. This thing will brush over. I feel like...
So you don't think this is going to be the main... This isn't going to be what takes us out?
Nah. I don't think this is the... Do you know why I say that? Because we looked at a financials earlier, and even from what you said, this problem has been there for a while. 9 months, bro.
Yeah.
Before 9 months.
Even before 9 months.
Like, if I go to the financials, So it looks like cool. Their revenue let's take it from 2018. Yeah, revenue was 555 billion. Yeah, and then the net income was 44 billion.
That's a big jump. Like that.
That's 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2019, 544 billion they brought
in revenue.
in revenue.
Okay.
Yeah. And then profit was 44 billion.
Wow.
544 they brought in, and when you take out all the costs, 44 billion. And then it just goes down all the way till, let's say we jump to 2020. They brought in 574 billion in revenue, and now profit is only 9 billion.
Wow.
So bro,
So
like
there's
the
an
problems have
issue
been there
somewhere.
for not even 9 months. This has been there since I could say 2018.
Yeah.
2018 up until now. So I just feel like this problem is gonna have a long-term effect on China as a whole. I don't think
That's if the government don't bail them out.
even if the government bails them out, I think it's going to have a knock-on effect. The reason being is because people are going to be too scared to invest in Chinese companies. And then, people are going to be too scared to invest in Chinese companies. And we know as well that aside from the Chinese companies, if money's not being pumped in the Chinese economy as a whole, Chinese economy can't pump money into other firms they've got interest in abroad.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's a whole long-term effect aside from Evergrande.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like this is just gonna mess up a lot of things.
Yeah. Especially on this side of the water.
Yeah.
Well, when I say this side, I don't mean the UK.
Yeah.
Even though the UK will be affected.
Yeah.
But I mean the US side of things.
Of course, yeah. So my tip here, like if I was looking at the stock market right now, I'll be very, very careful in terms of things that I'm invested in. Like for example, the EV market. I would not be looking at someone like Neo, for example, right now. That's not where my money would be going. My money would be going into, let's say, the cloud space. Because we know cloud, like regardless, cloud is
cloud. It's tech. It's needed. Yeah,
it's needed.
Okay.
I'll be looking at stuff
Food
like
companies.
I'll be looking at more fintech space.
Okay.
So I'll be looking at Square, PayPal.
Yeah.
Because the seasonal periods are coming. Christmas is coming. People are
Yeah.
going to do buy now, pay later kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at stuff like that. But I wouldn't be looking at things where the banks are heavily well, that's silly.
Yeah,
since I said
banks
fintech, but I wouldn't be looking at places where things that I know China's heavily invested in. China's obviously heavily invested in Neo because that's a Chinese company.
Yeah.
And then you've got other
Alibaba,
JD.com, those e-commerce firms like,
You're
just
not going down the Chinese market, basically.
Yeah,
You're moving like Donald
like-
Trump, basically. You're basically Donald Trump.
right now.
What does your hat say? Make the market great.
Not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China.
So that's your thoughts.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just going to keep it very simple and just say the Chinese government has to step in. This situation is not about teaching lessons. Do you understand? They could step in and then heavily regulate after. But they have to bail these people out because we can't have another, 2008 crisis? We can't have that again. And this would cause, obviously, not that like significant, but there will be some implications on the market. Yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, one more thing I was going to say as well. Well, I know we touched on the stock market, but also this affects the crypto market as well. At the end of the day, like we said, people right now are pulling their money out of the stock market, and also people are not investing new money into the crypto market because everyone right now is just uncertain about what's happening.
Just the market in general.
When people are uncertain about something, they tend to hold on to the cash, like rather than investing.
Pull back.
Yeah. So that's why the crypto markets are not moving at the moment. They're falling back. You need, in order for something to move forward, you need new money to go in.
Yeah, and there needs to be confidence in the market.
There needs to be confidence in the market.
Yeah.
There's no confidence in
That's
any of the
facts.
markets right now.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, if anyone's seen that everything is bleeding right now,
It's bleeding.
It's bleeding. So yeah, long-term investors, boy, if you believe in whatever you've invested in, keep pumping money into it because in any pandemic, it's when a year later you see that people have made money. Everyone's seen those memes that say, if you invested $1,000 a year ago, you would have made this amount now. You don't want to be one of those people next year saying,
Look,
I wish.
If you have credible stock, which isn't heavily reliant on these, like maybe the property sector and stuff like that, then you should be okay. Yeah. Do you understand? EVs are not going anywhere. I don't know about Neo, but other EVs, like maybe Tesla, for example, not going anywhere. As you said, maybe some of the fintech ones not going anywhere. Yeah. If you have your money in the right place, you don't need to worry too much. Yeah. There might be a slight dip, but long term you'll be okay. Yeah. That's the only thing that I would say.
Yeah. This also teaches us that, like we've banged on from the very beginning of stock list, make sure you have a balanced portfolio in crypto, in stocks, in bonds, whatever.
Different.
Make sure your portfolio is balanced and don't rely on one thing, because the moment you rely on one thing and it messes up, it really messes up. There's no saving it.
Diversify your portfolio.
That's it.
Yeah. Before we finish, we just want to let you know that we're not financial analysts, neither are we financial advisors. So take everything we say with a pinch of salt,
Maggi,
paprika, anything in the kitchen.
That's it.
Yeah. Those are our final thoughts about what's happening with Evergrande. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments. Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, we're there. Make sure you like the video, send it to one other person, and subscribe. Just subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.